Welcome to Mojo Talks. I'm Eric, and today we're talking about the kids. The kids are all right. So we've convened a panel. We have Rebecca and Phoebe. How you guys doing?
Not too bad, you?
I'm good, and it's pretty exciting because there's change in the air. The kids in Florida have done some amazing things. I just want to list, there's an infographic going around that lists some of the things that they've done so far. They've forced a CNN town hall. They've got new commitments from Marco Rubio. They've pressured the president to call for a bump stock ban. They've led advertisers to leave the NRA. That's unprecedented. They saw a Florida aide fired for lies, and they raised millions for a march. Like, this is unheard of. Is the earth shifting beneath our feet?
I think so. And I hope so, anyway. So these are the kids from Marjory Stoneman Douglas High School in Parkland, Florida. And the faces of the campaign seem to be Emma González, Cameron Kasky, and David Hogg. They're the ones that I seem to see on CNN and in the media the most. And they seem to be kind of 3 in a million kids, because I have never seen kids so driven and so articulate. I'm losing my words and I'm saying the articulate. You know, and able to harness social media for good. I mean, it's practically unprecedented. I don't want to say unprecedented, because it feels a lot like the Me Too movement, which kind of, you know, snowballed from, I think it was Twitter.
And Black Lives Matter.
Yeah, and Black Lives Matter. I think the new protests, they take them to the streets eventually, but they start on social media.
Yeah.
But you know, I remember a couple of years back when there was the Green Revolution in Iran, when there was an almost revolution, and it was because of social media, and it didn't take off. And
I thought it did.
It didn't really hold. It eventually led to the Arab Spring, which, you know, so it's like these little changes start to create a snowball effect, and they don't always stick. But it does feel like...
You just have to keep the pressure going.
Well, exactly. Yeah. And the kids are the ones who understand social media, and they're the ones who understand branding. And it's very funny to see them up against Trump, who he himself is, you know, a reality TV star. So they all understand how to manipulate for good or for bad, but using the media and social media specifically to those ends.
Yeah, and I think that what's really interesting also is that not only are they using the social media to their advantage, but they're also taking action. So they forced the CNN town hall, and I think that is like incredible for a bunch of teenagers to have like the capacity to do something like that. And I think that that's why this is gaining so much momentum, is because they're not only using social media to voice their opinions, but also sort of bringing it to real life and asking for real change.
Well, here's my concern, is that you know, news cycles move fast, and social media, whereas it's being used as an advantage here, it's also something that makes the news cycle go so fast, and it causes us to have, you know, very short attention spans. So is it possible that this is going to be a flash in the pan hashtag, or like Me Too or Time's Up or Black Lives Matter, is there a way to pin this? Is there a way to get this to stick?
It already feels like it is sticking, because they're actually affecting change. Like the companies dropping the NRA, and
that's huge.
It is huge. It's very huge. And let's take a time out to shout out to FedEx, who are the lone holdouts to not drop the NRA. So
they will. I mean, here's
will
the
they?
thing.
I don't think they will. They've been sort of defending their choice to continue giving the discounts by saying that it would be discriminatory against NRA members, and whether or not you believe that's true, it seems that they are really sticking to their decision to not drop that.
Here's the thing, though. These kids are now going to be able to vote, and their friends are going to be able to vote, and they're going to be able to influence their friends. So, you know, the idea is that now you can't dismiss them anymore. I mean, there's a CNN commentator, Jack Kingston, and this guy went on to say, do we really think 17-year-olds on their own are going to plan a nationwide rally? And they did. Like,
good luck with that.
and so, you know, you can
P.S.
accuse
they've
them.
raised, at last count, $2,696,503 of their $3 million goal, some of which came from George and Amal Clooney, Oprah, Jeffrey Katzenberg, and Steven Spielberg.
Right.
Right.
But if, you know, and Emma González, who you mentioned before, she now has more followers on Twitter than the NRA does. So they're totally flipping the script. And what's interesting about Emma is that, I mean, clearly you know, it's not like she's created her look for this, but you know, it's almost tailor-made. You know, she obviously gets branding. Not that it was an intentional thing, but you can recognize her face. She is one in a million.
I kind of want to talk about the conspiracy theories here.
Yeah, okay, go for it. Yeah.
Because there are conspiracy theories that these are crisis actors, which, I don't know, for lack of a better, or that this was a false flag operation, kind of like, you know, in 9/11 was an inside job.
Kind of stuff?
Yeah, but I don't even think he's rung in on this one yet. But meaning that these kids were hired to, or that the shooting was an inside job to have something to rally around for gun control, and that these kids were hired as actors to be the kids to rally around. And somebody got fired for trying to promote that theory. A representative's aide, who sent an email to the media. Yeah.
Well, actually, one of the kids, one of the three that you mentioned, I think I read in a local paper in Florida, was trying to incite people to stop coming down for spring break to Florida. In other words, boycott Florida for spring break. And when Floridians see those tourist dollars leave, that they're going to change their tune about gun control. And what's really interesting is reading the comments. You know, the way these kids are being treated by the other side is it's pretty harsh and pretty brutal. But
yeah,
it almost seems like they're
getting death threats.
They're getting death threats.
Yeah.
Okay, I mean, you know, just think about the world that we live in, but in the end...
These kids just lived through a school shooting where they saw their friends murdered, and now they're getting death threats for being against guns.
And yet they still have the balls to go up against Marco Rubio. And what was it that they said? One of my favorite lines is the one who tweeted, I think it's Sarah Chadwick, "We should change the name of AR-15s to Marco Rubio because they're so easy to buy."
Womp,
I mean,
womp.
they're dragging, they're using everything in their arsenal, and I think change is coming.
Well, that's it. Cameron Kasky, who went up against Marco Rubio at the town hall, he basically made this really poignant speech, really well worded, about how we shouldn't boo anyone for being a Republican or a Democrat, but their actions. And he said, "So, Marco Rubio, will you commit to not taking any more money from the NRA?" To which everyone in the audience was like flabbergasted. Everyone was clapping and cheering, and
Marco Rubio's answer was basically just like,
it was a non-answer.
And no,
but then he did commit to a few things, which is great.
Well, change is in the air. I think this is, you know, I think we're witnessing something unprecedented. I'd like to see it continue. I'd like to see actual change happen. I guess we'll see. Time will tell. But thank you guys for joining us. Let us know what you think in the comments. I'm sure, you know, this is a divisive issue. So, you know, be it one way or another, let's have a conversation. That's what we do on Mojo Talks. All right, thanks.
Thank you.
See you next time.